This first layer of black paint serves as our first layer of depth or shadow. We're going to build all of our paint on top of this. And we're going to cut this out, so again, the edges aren't super important. And you'll see at the end that you'll have an opportunity to cover up your feet if you don't like them. I started my first blue layer with just true blue, but you could actually you could shade it a little bit with some black for your first layer and build up from there if you like. I mixed a little burnt sienna with the cadmium red to start as the first layer for that reddish part of the throat of the bird. You'll see in a moment where I added straight burnt sienna sort of in the middle, and then I built the red around that. And I also mixed in some lighter red just to create more layers. I mixed my gray a little bit darker than what I wanted to finish with to outline the eye area, and then I built the lighter grays on top of that. Each time I had a color on my brush, I also looked at my whole bird and decided where I wanted some of that color as well, and used it while I had it on the brush to build layers, because your finished layers are going to be the spotlight, but the more layers you have underneath, the more depth your bird is going to have in the end. Created the next layer of blue by mixing the turquoise with the true blue, and you could do this in as many stages and build it as slowly as you like. I did one layer and then I jumped to the straight turquoise, and then I tinted the turquoise with white. So again, this is your bluebird, and you can, the more layers, the more realistic he's going to look, the more interest he's going to have. So have fun. You may notice that I'm concentrating a little bit on the center of the bird, and I'm not really putting a lot of attention and detail into where the wings are going to go at this point. So the wings are going to be added later. That's why there's sort of like a little center V shape, and I'm also concentrating on the tail, and I'm just working in different areas of the bird. I'm allowing the paint to dry a little bit in different areas and going back and forth and just building, and just have fun kind of getting your technique down. And remember, it's acrylic paint, so if you put a mark you don't like, you can easily let it dry and paint right over it. So let's talk about these feet. They might be something you choose to add a little differently. They're actually kind of fluffy. There's a lot of little hairs around his little legs, and they have a little reflection of the red that's on his belly, which we don't see with him in this position. And you'll see here in a little bit, a lot of what I painted ended up getting covered up when I created the wings separately and glued them on. So if you're nervous about doing the feet, you can maybe skip them until after you get your wings on, and then decide how you want to position those feet. Now I'm painting the wings directly on the bird, as you'll see here to start, but you'll also see here in a little bit I show you how you can paint the wings separately and add them so that it just adds a little more depth to the bird. It makes the wings stand out a tiny bit more. So you could practice painting your wings on, and then you can end up painting several different versions of wings and choosing the ones that you like the best. Now it's time to fussy cut that bird out. Of course, you could paint your bird directly on a finished background if you like, but you know, we do things in layers here, so I'm fussy cutting this out and I'm going to glue it on a background of my choice. This is a little bit more in-depth painting tutorial this month, so I didn't speed it up quite as fast because there's a little bit more detail to catch. So I'm leaving the background choice up to you this month. You'll see the ones that I suggest here at the end of the video in a minute, and we'll explore these backgrounds, potential backgrounds for this design throughout the month in the community. Speaking of the community, please be sure and post your finished creation inside the community so we can all be inspired by your interpretation of this design. I hope you're enjoying a Bluebird sort of day, and I'll see you in the next video.